Hello, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, doing an Innistrad block draft. We've opened Mondronin Shaman, who I have not played yet. It was the pre-release card. How do I feel about it? I mean, it's cool. It's pretty much Tormented Pariah with an ability that says whenever they cast a spell, deals 2 damage to them. So, I mean, in that respect, it's significantly better than Tormented Pariah, but at the same time we also get another rare. We get the Increasing Savagery, which I also have not gotten a chance to play, but looks like it's a pretty sick card. 4 mana, give a creature, +5/+5, and then if you flash it back for 7, you get 10. I think I can pick that first here and not have any regrets about that. Unfortunately, not a lot of other green to wheel there, but I have no problem first picking that. So I think this is a pretty good start. Maybe I'll finally be able to do green-white. We'll see. This pack, if I want to do the green-white, I'm pretty sure I'm just picking the Burden of Guilt. Removal spell, and quite a good removal spell. So we're hoping to wheel Gather the Townsfolk out of this pack. I don't know how likely that is. But, I mean, this pack is... No, I guess it's not deep enough where I'm going to wheel this, but... No, I don't think so. I guess there's a pretty small chance. It's possible that we wheel that Gather the Townsfolk. But we'll see. So we'll take the Burden of Guilt. And just mosey on into green-white, which gets significantly better with the next 2 packs. Okay, so now we go... Our choices are... I think we're looking at the Sommerwald Dryad, the Break of Day, and the Faith's Shield. Well, green-white loves little creatures, but usually it likes humans. And although this woman looks human, she is in fact a Dryad. I think I might just take the creature anyway, because Forest Walk, pretty much Land Walk, is a good ability in Limited, something to keep in mind, usually. Landwalk abilities of all kinds are good and limited, so I think I will pick the Dryad, who doubles as both a creature and a cheap creature for green-white, so it's kind of nice. We're picking that over the Faith's Shield, which is arguably a better card depending on what the rest of our small creatures look like, but I like Sommerwald Dryad, and it also happens to be a good tool against us, so I don't feel bad about that. Okay, now we sort of have an interesting pick. Do I want the Loyal Cathar, or do I want the Elgod Inquisitor? And I'm actually not exactly sure. I feel like the Elgod Inquisitor is very good in the tempo match. Loyal Cathar is also good in the tempo match, but not in the same way that Elgod Inquisitor is. Elgod Inquisitor, that lifelink is so relevant. And you get a spirit out of it. This is also cheaper, but the double white can sometimes be a little bit awkward. I guess I didn't even mention the Uvenwald Bear, which is also legit, but I don't think that I like it more than the Loyal Cathar or the Elgod Inquisitor. I mean, the Inquisitor is a 4-drop, which is a little bit clunky. I think I am going with the Inquisitor over the Cathar. I think the lifelink is relevant enough in this kind of environment. Oh, wow. Look at this. This is actually a pick here. Wolfbitten Captive is good. Gather the Townsfolk is good. Burden of Guilt is good, and Young Wolf. All of those choices are good. So which one do I want here? Wolfbitten Captive is good for putting on some early pressure. Burden of Guilt is just a good card. I've really liked playing that. I think I am going to go with the rare on this one. The Wolfbitten Captive is potential for a 1-mana. If you play it on first turn, it's usually a 2/2. Otherwise, it's nice that you can pump mana into something if I happen to get some more green werewolves. I'm not exactly sure about this pick, but I want to try the Wolfbitten Captive out. I think he's good. At least good enough for this. Okay, wow. And then we're past Thalia too. I kind of want to know the price on that card. Well, my computer was too slow. I I didn't get a chance to check on the price of Thalia, but I think as a 2-mana 2/1 first strike, that's actually pretty relevant. And since we're in green-white, there's a good chance we're not going to be running that many non-creature spells. That being said, I'm not sure if I should have picked that. There might have been some more qualified picks. My computer was just too slow and I couldn't check the price on it in time, unfortunately. So now the choice is the Midnight Guard or the Bear, and even though the Midnight Guard is a more relevant creature type, I believe we're going to go with the Bear simply because the morbid ability is very strong. It's a very strong morbid ability and one that I would like to have access to. So we're going to pick that. Here we're going to pick the Hunger of the Howlpack, which is also, it's a trick, plus the morbid can just like in-game sometimes, so that's a pretty good trick. I guess Thalia would make it more expensive though, wouldn't she? Yeah, that's okay. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. Here we'll take the Haunted Fengraf, which is a card that we have a chance of playing. I suppose we can take Tracker's Instincts, but there's a pretty good chance that we're not only not going to play it, but I think this card is pretty tough to play if you're not flashing it back. Huh. Well, nothing really relevant for us here. Yeah. I mean, I suppose we'll just take the Chalice of Life because it's interesting. I guess Executioner's Hood, possible sideboard option if we're in against, opposite colors. Heavy Matic is so bad. I'm going to take it though. I mean, we're at least in the colors where that becomes playable. This is actually a really good card to get second to last. This has plenty of applications. I mean, flyers are hugely popular, so Crushing Vines is, if I don't end up with enough removal, I could easily see myself playing the Crushing Vines. So I did pick a Wolf-Bitten Captive over a second Burden of Guilt. We'll see if that makes a difference. Wow. Well, we opened a sweet pack. We have an on-color rare, and as much as I love Gutter Grime, I'm not going to pick it here. I just don't feel comfortable ever picking a Gutter Grime over Fiend Hunter when you're in those colors. So I'm pretty sure the Fiend Hunter is the pick for us. Unfortunately, in this same pack, there's both a Prey Upon and Avacyn's Pilgrim, which we'd both love to have, even a Ranger's Guile. There's a chance, because this pack is deep enough, that we're going to wheel this Ranger's Guile, which is a trick that I've learned to love, especially when you're running Fiend Hunter. You want to make sure that he's safe. So yeah, we're going to snatch up this Fiend Hunter, and that's a great first pick. Alright, and we get to follow it up with another good pick. Once again, though, unfortunately, there's a lot of good picks in us for here, so a lot of stuff is going to be taken in our colors. So my options are the Mausoleum Guard or the Midnight Haunting. There's also Doom Traveler and Elder Cathar, which are perfectly legitimate in this build. I'm going to hide the Tracker's Instincts real quick. I want to get a better idea of what we're looking at right now. So I've got 3 creatures that are 2 mana cost or less right now. I'm going to hide this too. And I think we're just going to hide that Heavy Matic because that card's horrible. So what do I want? Mausoleum Guard or the Midnight Haunting. This gives you flyers right away. This gives you a body plus flyers. Plus it's a human. I think I want the Mausoleum Guard, although the Midnight Haunting does come down a little bit earlier. The fact that the guard is human to start makes me like it. So I'm going to snatch up the Mausoleum Guard. I don't anticipate regretting that. I think that's very, very good card. Okay, so the pick here is a Thraben Sentry or an Ambush Viper. I have to think about that one. This one's human, so it's more relevant, but this acts as green removal. It also gives us another 2-drop beater. Actually, I didn't even see the Hamlet Captain. I think I'm actually going to go with the Hamlet Captain because we're in the right arc. We're in like the perfect archetype for this card, and I should have noted this earlier. Actually, Hamlet Captain's awesome. Human Lord. This is the equivalent of the. This is like the Innistrad Stromkirk Captain or Diregraph Captain or Drogskull Captain. So Hamlet Captain is definitely the choice for us here. We already have, a few humans, so doubling up on him too is always amazing, but let's not get our hopes up too much. Okay, so the choices here are Doom Traveler, Chapel Geist, Cloistered Youth. Those are all good. If I have equipment, I always feel like it's Doom Traveler's the best. Like we saw at Silver Inlay Dagger, I feel like that's just like right up Doom Traveler's territory. Get something, equip it. If they kill it, doesn't matter. You get another equip target. Chapel Geist is awesome card. 3 toughness is super relevant. I think the weakest of the 3 is actually the Cloistered Youth for us, because even though it starts human, you usually flip it into a horror. So it's really Chapel Geist or Doom Traveler. And I do like humans, especially now with the Hamlet Captain. We can get just a sick curve with a Doom Traveler into a Hamlet Captain, but Chapel Geist is so good. I think I have to pick the Geist over the Traveler, unfortunately. Less relevant creature type, but the fact that it flies, you know, and it's 3 toughness, it's just really amazingly good. So I think that's going to be our pick. We have Gallows Warden, which is good. Orchard Spirit, which is good. Dark Thicket Wolf. So 3 very solid choices for us there. We also have a Moment of Heroism, which is a good trick, but I don't think we can pick it over one of these really good creatures. I always like Dark Thicket Wolf. This card is just can't be valued high enough. This has evasion, but God, the wolf just comes down early, and like I always feel like it's unblockable. Your opponent's always annoyed to try and block it. I think I'm gonna go with the Dark Thicket Wolf here. I know Gallows Warden is a very bomb creature, but we really want to make sure that we've got just beautiful curve going. So for now, we're gonna take the Dark Thicket Wolf. I just can't stress how good this card is. Well, we actually hit a blank here, surprisingly. If we had more werewolves, I'd probably consider the Full Moon's Rise, but I'm just looking at Wolf-Bitten Captive right now, which I don't think is enough to justify it. So, I believe we're going to be hating a Makeshift Mauler, which is just far and away the best card in this pack, so we're going to take that. And abruptly hide it. Okay, so now we're looking at, I think it's actually just Festerhide Boar. I mean, Gnawed of the Bone we could probably get away with playing in this deck, I mean out of the side against, you know, a deck with a lot of removal in it or something. But I'm not feeling it I'm just not feeling it over a Festerhide Boar, which I think just fills our curve better. Good chance that we've got some Morbid going on since we're going to be attacking quite frequently. Lumberknot is also good, but I don't think it's the right one for this deck. I don't typically see this run in green-white, so we'll do the Festerhide Boar, which is just a good card. I like the Fox much more than the Woodland Sleuth. I definitely remember passing some claustrophobias, at least one, and Silverchase Fox is just an excellent out against that. It's also an excellent out against the random Cursed Death's Hold that you have to face sometimes, so I believe I got a chance to do that a couple drafts ago. Alright, well, we wield a Ranger's Guile and a Gutter Grime, so how likely is it that I'm going to be playing Gutter Grime in this deck? I'm actually, it's like extremely unlikely that I'm going to be playing Gutter Grime in this deck. I've already got 16 really good playable cards. I would definitely play Ranger's Guile. It's like uncertain now whether I would even play Gutter Grime. So I think for that reason I am going to slam up the Ranger's Guile. So far we're looking pretty good. I like the way this is shaping up. We got an Elder Cathar, wield that, beautiful. Perfect right now for our curve. We're going to take the Spare from Evil for the sideboard. Excellent tool to use against spider spawning decks, stuff like that. I don't think the Caravan Vigil is going to be necessary, but I'm going to pick it just in case we open some ridiculous splashable rare. I suppose we can take a Make-A-Wish, although I don't think I'd play that either. For now, I think we can hide the Caravan Vigil. Alright, Night Terrors. Yeah. Okay, let's hide the land. And so we have 18 non-land playable cards right now, so just have to get about 5 more playable cards out of this next pack here. So far we're looking pretty good, pretty straightforward green-white deck. Increasing Savagery looks good. definitely short on removal, so maybe I made some questionable choices over removal. In retrospect, the Wolf-Bitten Captive over the Burden of Guilt, I'm not quite sure that was the right choice. I mean, Burden of Guilt's not great when you have like 100 of them, but I think 2 would have been a very good number for this deck. Okay, so we open a pack that is very good for our opponents, but not so good for us. So we're really looking at Grizzled Outcast, Moment of Heroism, Ranger's Guile, which we already have, so I don't think that's it. Not even going to look at the Creepy Doll. Just for this deck, I can tell already it's just not what we want. So, a little unfortunate. We pretty much missed on our opening here. How important is Grizzled Outcast for this deck? Not very, honestly, but it gives us something that we can finish with. So, I think it is going to be the pick over the Moment of Heroism. Just because I feel like it's more likely that we see a Moment than a second Outcast. Could be wrong there. Moment is definitely a card that I would play, although all of these tricks are looking more awkward with Thalia in the deck, so I will admit to that. We're going to take the Grizzled Outcast, just get a creature, our in-game creature, I suppose. Okay, I think we're just going to pretty easily follow it up with the Doom Traveler over the Selfless Cathar. Selfless Cathar looks fine in this deck, but especially since we have morbid triggers here and with the boar. But you just can't miss with a human that turns into a flyer when it dies. I think the 2-for-1 on that is just too important to pass up here. So, will we get a Cleaver? Can we get that lucky? Does not appear we're going to be that lucky. So, now the choice is Pilgrim Sentry, I believe, and I think we're going to go with the Pilgrim. We have a pretty small curve already. This looks like a deck. Once I pick up this Pilgrim, very easily can play 16 lands, which is nice. I think that'll make us be dropping creatures much more often, and we can just slam people down and destroy them with increasing savagery. Hopefully we get a travel prep. We still have just a few more opportunities in this last remaining pack to get a travel preparations, which is just what this deck is. Really would put this deck over the edge, honestly. So we're going to pick the Pilgrim here, get us a nice... It's not that he's necessarily ramp, he's just making it easier for us to get to our, mid to late game. Wow, okay. I don't think I can pass up a second Lord here, considering now we have Pilgrim, Traveler, Captive, Captain, Thalia, Cathar, Fiend Hunter, Mausoleum Guard, Inquisitor, Outcast. Alright, we have plenty of humans. Oh my god, why did the Captain have to be in the same pack as the Travel Prep, the Priest, and the Prey Upon? All of these cards are so desirable right now. Oh boy. Oh man, this is so difficult. I feel like there's like zero chance that we wheel any of these amazing cards. I'm going to pick the Lord. I am going to pick the Lord. I like Hamlet Captain so much. So amazing in multiples. I know I just said we were just craving so much of Travel Prep, but Hamlet Captain is just such an awesome 2-drop card, especially when you have as many humans as we have now. Here I think I am going to take the Smite the Monstrous, probably going to main deck it. Pretty clear choice there. Usually and even now, I'm pretty unimpressed with Smite the Monstrous in general. But, wow, sorry, I got distracted by this amazing Butcher's Cleaver that we're going to snap up. But, like I was saying, Smite the Monstrous, not the best removal, but when you're short on removal like we are, it's highly playable. So, we're going to pick the Butcher's Cleaver here, pretty obvious. I just got done talking about how many humans we have, and a Cleaver is just such an amazing tool at their disposal. We're going to snap up the Naturalize now for sideboarding purposes. Not upset with that. Could take another boar, but we're definitely just taking another human now. Maximize our Hamlet Captains, and Unruly Mob is just a great card in general, so Unruly Mob it is. Second Ranger's Guile, I suppose. Out of the side, possibly. We have a ton of playables now, so this is good. We may not even play the Outcast and see if I can get away with I mean, I can definitely get away with 16 lands, but now I'm like wondering if I can get away with 15. Might be a wee bit too greedy, although I am running tons of creatures. If I can get it where it's just like, I don't know, 3 non-creature spells, I might not even be able to play the Thalia because I'm running Cleaver and Increasing Savagery, so we'll have to see on that, unfortunately. Thalia definitely may have been the wrong pick there. I was just worried I was going to be passing something that was worth a few tickets, but I can't imagine why she would be worth that many tickets. She's not like blowing up in real life or anything. Here, none of this looks really good, so I suppose I'll take from the back from the brink, which is actually a card that can be, if you're already playing self-mill, you can get quite a bit of value from. I don't think there's any chance I'd play Pure Blood, so I'm actually going to take the Trader's Blood, which I could see hurting me really bad. So far we're looking great. We got a really solid green-white deck going. Double Lord plus Cleaver is highly desirable. Mausoleum Guard, Elgon Inquisitor are both very good. And Doom Traveler. We have like all the white spirit creating creatures. We've got a Fiend Hunter. Just a very great looking deck. Very great. I don't think people say that very often. We'll take the Riot Devils away, which actually would be a card that could lock down a lot of our forces. So Riot Devils is legitimate against us. Suppose I'll take Mulch, although just basically stealing that from any spider spawning deck, but I can't imagine there being a spider spawning deck if I'm getting a second to last pick Mulch. Suppose we'll take that for selling later purposes when I sell all my bulk common and uncommons. Okay, so we unfortunately did not end up getting the travel prep, which we traded for a Hamlet Captain, which I can't complain about. So we're basically looking at a double lorded human deck, which is a good spot to be in. Plus we got the Cleaver, which is just can turn a game around so easily. The Loxodon Warhammer for humans, although it doesn't give trample, so it's clearly not Loxodon Warhammer. But yeah, I'm happy with the way this deck looks. I don't think I've gotten a chance to play green-white in any of these online drafts since Dark Ascension got released, so I'm excited to try this out. Let me build something for you. Okay, so I think this is what I'm looking at right now. I decided that I am going to try out Thalia in this deck. I feel like just because we're only running 2 Ranger Skiles, a Burden of Guilt, like most of our spells that get more expensive by 1 are 1-drops anyway, so that's like not a huge deal. And the only other 3 in the deck are the Cleaver, Savagery, and Crushing Vines, I think. Yeah, that's everything. So I mean, there are definitely spells that this is gonna hurt, but I think the fact that it's human, it's got first strike, and we have 2 lords makes it so we want to put it in. The fact that it makes our opponent's removal more expensive too, I think, is going to be highly relevant. Plus, I mean, the fact that we're running 17 creatures, I think this is going to be less detrimental to us than it will be to our opponents. But we'll see if I eat those words or not. But I want to try Thalia out. I think this is the right deck for her. A 17 creature deck is a good place for her to be. So we are running 16 lands, one of which is a Haunted Fingraph, which, you know, although not great, allows you, if you get flooded, for some, you know, extra cards, which is nice. So that might be relevant. You never know. Increasing Savagery is a nice finisher. Butcher's Cleaver is absolutely a nice finisher. Crushing Vines is going to be my main deck experiment. I think flying creatures are a pretty big deal, and being able to destroy them is awesome, but being able to hit artifacts as well is great. Double Ranger's Guile is something that is really powerful, because no one ever expects the second Ranger's Guile, you know what I mean? Everyone always expects the first one, but not a lot of people expect the second one. So 2 Ranger's Guile I'm really happy to have. This is definitely, once again, a deck that wants to run 16 lands. If you look how low our curve is, I can easily get away with that, and I hope that I can get away with this Haunted Fingraph too. I mean, we've got the Pilgrim, we've got a great deck. If you didn't already realize, we have a great deck. So I really anticipate a deck like this doing good. But I mean, it's totally dependent on draws and stuff. But we have all the tools at our disposal, and the fact that we got the cleaver, I think, really puts this deck over the edge now. Double captain plus cleaver plus. I should find out how many humans I've got exactly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's a lot. More than a fourth of our deck is humans. So that's certainly plenty. And yeah, I think this deck could do very well, and I hope it does. So I'll see you round 1.